Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again with our follow-up video for the explosive arrow Lowlife Doomfletch Inquisitor in Endgame. And it went pretty damn well. It was probably the most defensively thick character I've built in quite a while. Ended up having 7.2k life, a lot of that reserved, and then living at low life with petrified blood. So about 3.6 thousand low life with the petrified blood, and then about 2,500 energy shield with a lot of regen on both the life and energy shield portions. So we could take a lot of hits and we could recover those quickly. And it felt pretty good being that kind of thick. The DPS in the end wasn't mind-blowing for a single target. I'm not sure if I just didn't unlock the true potential of explosive arrow, but it felt a bit wonky sometimes. The clear felt really good though, and for the most part, it was probably one of the better skills I could have picked as a bow here for some reason. I did try out lightning arrow on a similar map as this one, and it just felt a bit worse. I think I had to build a bit more into a regular bow skill by using something like pierce. A bit more bow related shit. Either way, explosive arrows seem to hold its own for the explosions. As you can see, I can take some big fat hits, and I actually didn't die on the character till level 92 or something, in which I died to like one silly ultimatum. I was doing a lot of pretty silly maps, and I was doing damage mods and all kinds of stuff, and we were still pretty deathless all the way through. And then, of course, you'll see the Maven fight where I stopped caring too much about living, but we still get there in the end anyway. So it was a very solid template for a character, some low-life Inquisitor action, either as a Doomfletch, I'd say. You could probably do a lot of different bow skills, or as a Voidforge. Yeah, Voidforge. Could probably do a lot of different skills there and just reshape the tree a bit to be more melee slash two-hand sword centric, something like that. And I'd say that could probably still yield some very thick results because the Bloodthirst gem in the end does seem to be giving us quite a lot of additional damage and should be worth using in a big fat low life setup. The petrified blood mechanic, like I said, I tried it out on a previous character without really any extra defensive layer. It felt extremely sketchy. On this one, I was pretty damn comfortable with petrified blood all the way through. Because you do have that large energy shield buffer as well. Got a lot of regen, a lot of life, some leech, all of that, and rarely did I ever feel like I was in huge amounts of danger just looking at my low life bar, even when it was sort of backlogging some of that petrified blood single hit damage, and thus, struggling to regen or some shit like that. That's where the life flask did kind of come in a bit clutch. The ultimatums were definitely starting to overwhelm me at times though, because explosive arrow, in the way I've built it, doesn't have any pierce, doesn't have any chain, fork, anything like that, and that means that it's only hitting the first 5-6 enemies directly in front of me and then exploding those. And once we start getting too overwhelmed, as in there's too many monsters, we can't clear them fast enough and we can't just prevent getting overwhelmed. Whereas some certain builds and skills, like if we had lightning arrow and we used pierce, for example, the more the merrier. You just pierce through everything and do better damage. Same with things like kinetic blast and bleed pops, whatever the hell. Whereas this one, the more the merrier, didn't feel that way. No, you certainly do have a limit on how many things you can hit. So this is the examples of single target. So I was trying to utilize a Hydrosphere to get an additional explosion, and I think it was working in the way I wanted it to work. But in the end, we probably only had a few million single target DPS, which is nothing too special for this type of a setup. I was hoping for more, but I do think the ballistas helping the single target are pretty worth it for a 5 or a 6 link, just getting those additional fuses for explosions, and then the Hydrosphere should be yielding an additional explosion, but it was completely situational on me having a Dying Sun up since I didn't have a second arrow by default. So if Dying Sun was down, that means that I couldn't utilize a second arrow into Hydrosphere explosion, and that's where it gets a little iffy. So I did end up doing this Cirrus 8 pretty clean, but it took a while because couldn't really justify flasking too often. I've only got 2 uses of Dying Sun there, and then without that, DPS is going to be a bit slower. And I've still got a bit of a setup time as well of placing some totems, and only when we have a Dying Sun do I also want to put down a Hydra Sphere, and then that gets me a little bit more single target as well. So, like I said, overall, probably a pretty good template for other things to try out on. Did seem like a very nice map clear, very thick character. Too thick for my liking, made me probably a bit lazier. But overall, I had fun with it, and figuring it out was a nice concept as well. I'm not sure about Petrified Blood for everything, but for this type of setup, yep, definitely loved having it. So I'll leave you guys with a Maven kill. It was, like I said, nothing special, single target, and I am a bit of a potato on the fight this time around, so enjoy that. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Jesus Christ. How many things overlapped there, man? Like, I was gonna try and put that in the center, but... Why am I putting down fucking Hydra Spheres when it's not relevant? Only when I'm going to Flask. Gosh darn it. Unsteady. Don't panic. Now don't be stupid. Don't do it. No matter how much you want to be. Don't be stupid. I want to be stupid so bad. I'm not gonna press anything in the fucking center. Not happening, is it? Does look like I have to drop 2 sets of balls every time though. Did he say anything? He just sent out a fucking giga laser and I dodged it by the skin on a bee's dick. I didn't know it was happening, dude. I didn't see that happen! Holy shit, was that just fucking 1 trillion damage from one explosion? Didn't even notice him actually doing the explosion. How did that one-shot me though? That guy never does an explosion worth of a one-shot. That's nutty. That was full low life and full the other thing. Yes. Hit me again. Wait, what? I wanted to see his damage again. This degen beam is yeah. I wanted to see his explosion again. Because that was stupid. I accidentally combined the quote. It's supposed to be hair on a bee's dick, or by the skin of your teeth. And I said skin of a bee's dick, it was an accent. But yeah, those aren't my sayings, those are just sayings. I don't know, it might be an Australian thing, but yeah. Missed it by hair on a bee's dick, something like that. Famous skin of the teeth. Heard it plenty of times, seems pretty common. Well, let's see if I can finish the boss fight off without dying, because if so, then that death was just a fucking huge anomaly. Shouldn't have ever happened. It was pretty unlucky that, you know, ate a death for the fight. What's he doing on the memory phase, eh? Alright. Just fucking do it. I don't know what I'm doing. As soon as I stepped into it, I was like, wait, which way am I going? And I just completely didn't do the memory. Oh well. Oh god, the degen hit me. Also, I'm not low life right now. There we go. I mean, it doesn't matter. We already lost the deathless thing. It's not bad. Single target's pretty lackluster for the long-term fights, but the clear and overall build's pretty solid. Okay with that, I guess.